Welcome, Gemini, to your Pisces new moon 1 month forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. In a series of 7 consecutive new moons at 28 degrees, this is the final one in that powerful sequence. But it also occurs at the very end of the overall zodiac, so it has rich symbolism. New moons are often an opportunity to set our intentions. And for sure, you can do that about your ambitions for the next month, Gemini. But also, because of the position of this particular new moon, I feel over the next 4 weeks can be a time of culmination when past hard work pays off in a potentially spectacular way. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of your relationship, financial, energetic, and work prospects. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. So on the screen, Gemini, is the event chart from a purely Gemini viewpoint, and you can see there's the sun and the moon together, really just under 1.5 degrees from the end of the overall zodiac. But that is in the third decan of the sign of Pisces, which is subruled by the thrust of Mars. So that's intriguing. And you know, a new moon essentially is a moon cazimi. The power and radiance of the sun, which we're all dependent on, amplifies the sensitivity, compassion, and from a water perspective, because of the host being a water sign, the moon is the ruler of the water sign of Cancer. The moon's pretty comfortable in Pisces, although that sensitivity is really turned up to max. Now, new moons, as I mentioned, can be a time to really set those intentions. But because Mars, the planet of passion and assertion, has been in this part of your chart recently, the chances are that you've had more confidence and drive to raise your profile, seek out acclaim, or tell people about your talents. But I don't think it's all been straightforward, because Mercury, your ruler, has from the 6th of February been tracking through the sign of Pisces. Now, Pisces and Mercury are not great friends. Mercury really thrives on clarity and precision. The watery energy of Pisces can make that tricky. And from the end of February through to now, Mercury has been in retrograde. So it's possible that even if you have been pushing hard, trying to pitch ideas to influential people, applying for jobs, or trying to grow your own enterprise as much as you could, it may not have all been easy. But the interesting thing is that Mercury is going to be going direct on the vernal equinox the day after this event. So that's going to be interesting. And also, with it being so close to the point of destiny, the North Node, your instincts, because remember, you're an air sign, so logic calls out to you. But if you tune into your instincts and can bind that with the way that you communicate, with a degree of sensitivity but precision, as Mercury goes direct, some kind of breakthrough that you've been waiting for can occur. Now, some other takeouts for you. Mars in the 10th house really gives it an opportunity to strut its stuff, but it is on this event in a wonderful trine to Jupiter, the planet of luck, now going direct in the second house of your chart, everyday money. That's particularly significant over the next month. That's why I feel some culmination can happen for past hard work. Now, also, Mars and Jupiter together, although they're both in water signs and therefore asking you to stay in touch with your instincts, are actually in a relationship which is very energizing. And that can bring even more drive and passion and enthusiasm to what you're trying to work with or promote. But Uranus, the planet of change, innovation, restlessness, disruption, has been in a very tricky part of your chart the last 7 years, apart from the 4 months of last year when he briefly joined you. And he is actually forging a very strong sextile to the position of the sun and the moon, the king and queen of the heavens. And I feel it may be something linked to your past, an old relationship, potentially a business relationship, an idea that you could adapt in the here and now can actually see you make progress in a very sudden but exciting way over this next 4 weeks. But what this event asks you to do, Gemini, which is a little bit counterintuitive for an air sign, is really tune in to that more emotional water energy. But if you can do that and combine that with those ambitions and the desire to be recognized and respected for your talents, you've got a lot to go for. Also, Venus, the planet of relating, but also money, is free of that tether that it had initially with Saturn, which may have seen some crosswords or disappointments around certain friendships. In fact, is in a very strong right angle with Jupiter. It's a square that can actually be very lucky. And I think over the next 4 weeks, there could be someone who you have a connection with that can be just as influential to you professionally as personally, but it may require you to show a generosity of spirit. So, for example, if you're talking about a job, we're talking about a contract, you may have to give a bit to get a bit. But if you do that, I actually think could be very helpful for you. Now, if you're not enjoying what you're doing at the moment professionally, you don't feel that recognition is coming your way, you're feeling dissatisfied, you're going to go through a period over the next month of reorientation, but in a very constructive way. And I think that's because of Saturn linking with Pluto. Pluto's asking you to perhaps grow your knowledge, retrain, look at things in different ways. But it's linked to Saturn suggests if you can do that, but also collaborate and accept that at times other people will take the lead. There may be times when you also have to fit into some bigger structure, maybe an organization, maybe a more traditional business, but you can do it as long as you're thinking strategically. So for some Geminis, I feel setting your intentions maybe about actually changing your work and doing something very different. And you might not necessarily snare exactly what you want straight away. But once we have the vernal equinox, that's going to give you an opportunity to just appraise things if you're not happy at the moment. And then over time, by the end of the first week of the sun's journey through Aries, it will start to clarify what you need to do. So to summarize, Gemini, for you, if you've worked really, really hard over a long period of time doing something you love, you're passionate about, you're investing in it, and it feels right, despite the recent push you've put in, but also the recent cross wires you may have experienced, I think some kind of sensational breakthrough is possible, and a lot of rewards can come your way. If you're doing something at the moment you're not enjoying, this could be a time to reset. And that may require you to learn new skills. Try to take that in your stride. If you're more entrepreneurial, a past idea, experience, or contact could be really critical for you over the next 4 weeks, but you need to flex quickly in order to take advantage of that. When it comes to relationships, purely from a romantic viewpoint, there could be a little bit of a push and pull about who has the seemingly leadership role within that tie. But if you can actually celebrate the things you both bring to the situation, I think that can be very helpful. If you do go out on a date, Venus is square with Jupiter, suggests enjoying good food and good wine, and you could have a thrilling time. Don't be too orientated towards what someone does for the living on that initial date. And in terms of your energy, I think if you have been feeling frustrated, a lot of that will be because of Mercury's retrograde. And I think your energy generally could go up, but just be aware that over the next week, the Sun is going to be aligning with Neptune and Saturn, and that may just soften down your drive, but it's only giving you a little bit of space to reorientate, and then you can set again and go forwards. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've yet to watch your Jupiter Direct video, please click on the screen for that. If you've yet to watch your Mars in Pisces video, please click for that. You can get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning. Get that celestial pit stop free from me by seeing the link beneath this video. Also, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see my testimonials below. Now, if you'd like to order your personal horoscopes, my life roadmap gives you a chance to really understand the way that events may have played out in your life so far, give you searing insights to those patterns, but also helps you to perhaps break the ones that have been challenging. The forecast helps you to time your moves over the next year the best way possible. They're great value, very accurate, and you can get 50% off by applying Astro 26 at the checkout. If you prefer the Draconic Soul Karmic version, please apply Draco 26 at the checkout. All the best, Gemini, and take care and goodbye.